Yeah, morning, Pete. It was a familiar story, of course, wasn't it, for Manchester City last night? And you kind of sensed that, I think, around the ground when Manchester City went into the lead and for a second time in the match to go 2-1 up, because, of course, it's definitely not the first time it's happened to them this season, and there are nerves, aren't they? And even players at the top level playing for Manchester City can feel that when it becomes a pattern for them, and it's definitely cost them in the Champions League so far this season, and that is why they found themselves playing in that playoff tie just to try and get through to the last 16 last night. In 4 Champions League matches this season, they've taken the lead and failed to win, and that is just so unlike Manchester City. If you look at the games they've played where the scoreline has been turned on its head, the 4-1 defeat to Sporting Lisbon away back at the start of the campaign, of course the 3-3 against Feyenoord here at the Etihad when they were so in control of the game and 3 goals up. I was over in Paris just a couple of weeks ago to see them lead 2-1 in that game and then eventually succumb 4-2. And then, of course, again against Real Madrid last night when they led not once but twice, but eventually succumbed to Real Madrid and gave the visitors a real advantage going into the second leg in a week's time in the Bernabeu, and you would fancy Real Madrid to get that job done. And also worth noticing, Pete, last night, just a little spat between both sets of fans and around the award of the Ballon d'Or, of course, which was won by Rodri not so long ago. Of course, we've not seen him much through injury this season, but the Manchester City supporters having a little pop, I think it's fair to say, at Vinicius Junior before the match. Stop crying your eyes out. Well, it was Vinny Junior, of course, that had the last laugh last night by helping his team to that 3-2 win with Jude Bellingham scoring that 92nd minute winner. This is Pep on those late collapses that are becoming a story of Manchester City's season.
After the 2-1, it happened, the resume a little bit this season. So many games happen against Feyenoord, against Sporting Lisboa, against Brentford in Premier League, and Man United, and many games like at the end we give away. So we give away for ourselves, and in that level it's so difficult. It's not the first time, unfortunately, it happened many times, and that's why it's difficult.
Now, Keith, Pep has said in recent weeks, hasn't he, that, I mean, for the first time, he's almost at a loss as to how to fix City's problems, and this certainly won't have helped, will it?
Yeah, Haley, you've seen that in Pep Guardiola's body language during games, at press conferences. Look, I think he's been very, very honest with Manchester City supporters that he is still searching for an answer, and he tried something a little bit different last night, playing he essentially played 5 defenders with John Stones in a kind of midfield position, which we have seen before, but we've not seen too many times this season. And look, he is trying to find a solution, but when you look at the goals that they've conceded this season, it's alarming compared to last season and previous seasons before that. 57 goals in 38 games they've conceded so far this season. Those are not the statistics of a side who are set to win trophies, to win the Premier League or the Champions League, and you compare that to 54 in 59 last season. So that's a staggering difference to the amount of goals that they have conceded. And while they're not scoring as many, they can't keep the door closed at the back. You could see those nerves that I mentioned earlier, and just that winner by Jude Bellingham, you could see the defenders, John Stones, Ederson, who came rushing out, just turning to each other, kind of asking them, during the game, asking each other what is going on here. They don't know. It feels very much like Pep Guardiola still doesn't know either.
I've been here for many years, and we have been an extraordinary team. I said yesterday, we were an incredible machine every 3 days. We were huge competitors, and these years, not because I accept, so when the opponent is better. So, but in the moment, I'm not able. I said months ago, I'm not good enough, to give something to the composer, to the teams, how to manage this kind of situations. But it happened many times.
Well, if Manchester City are going to win the Champions League back, they're going to have to do it the hard way. As I say, they keep sort of going ahead in games, losing them, and then that one last night will definitely hurt, but at least for them, they don't have too long to wait until the second leg, which of course comes next week. Before that, they've got a home match here on Saturday at the Etihad against Newcastle, who obviously are in good form in the Premier League as well. So the big game's coming thick and fast for Manchester City right now. It'll be interesting to see what they manage to do ahead of that second leg, because look, they've definitely got a mountain to climb after that 3-2 defeat here at the Etihad last night.